Story 1. Question yourself. Start to see yourself as a flawed person. Relive moments you loved. Relive moments that make you sick inside. Therapy, exercise, journaling, spiraling, drugs, alcohol, breaking no contact. More shame, more regret, more hurt, more escape. Then, you start calling them an ex. You remember the anxieties and red flags you no longer have to deal with. You understand that they were only perfect for that version of you. You realize that you may never see them again. You wish you could tell them all the things you did wrong. You realize it doesn't matter if they know those reasons. It's for you, not for them. You start to let go. You start to realize that the heartbreak was meant to open parts of you that were closed. You continue to open those parts so that you can see what you're made of. You realize that you can do better. Not in relationships, but as a man. Your idea of an ideal partner changes. Your idea of an ideal man changes. You evolve the parts of yourself to align closer to that ideal man, to your values, to your identity. You become a new person. You realize you are no longer that person who loved them, you have outgrown them. You remember them in bits and pieces. It hurts, but they become a bittersweet memory. You are able to process memories without the pain, and with the joy that they brought you. You start to smile because it happened, and not cry because it's over. You begin to realize that if you lost something you never thought you'd lose, it stands to reason you can gain something that you never thought you would have. You accept the world again. You accept yourself again. You become confident. You become the next stage of you. You have moved on. Story 2. Keep busy, see friends. Write down your thoughts in a journal. It might sound corny, but it really helps. Exercise as endorphins help. Don't keep talking to each other. It just delays the grieving process. Time is the only thing that makes things better. Feel better, brother. Story 3. Had a 7-year gap. Was unable to function with any other woman properly. Only ended when I realized I had been an idiot and built her up into something she wasn't. Ran into her in a nightclub 7 years later. She wasn't all that. Story 4. Go to the gym. Hike. Run. Therapy. Visit family and friends. Process. Take trips. Go to music festivals. Journal. Eat. Cook. Work. Pause. Reflect. Bike. Swim. Camp. Overall, stay healthy in all aspects of life. Story 5. Drink Mexican food. Be shunned by society. Be treated like a serial killer by any female you talk to. Watch little kids, cats, and dogs run away from you in fear. Listen to friends say, "It's been 3 weeks now. You only dated her for 3 years. When are you going to get over her?" Listen to random strangers telling me to smile. Life can't be that hard, etc. Story 6. Grief looks different for everyone. I embarked on a full-blown wellness revamp, particularly because my ex is a well-known influencer therapist in my community. No one could fathom how wretched she was with me, and on top of that, she publicly painted me as the monster. Writing, therapy, teaching myself cognitive behavioral therapy, ice baths and breathing techniques, working out. I spent a lot of time with my friends, traveled, and I'm still picking up my hobbies 2 years later. I think the most difficult thing was letting go of the person I had created in my mind, which didn't align with who she truly was. I had to grieve the life I had imagined with us, which was with a made-up person at the end of the day. Take your time. Cry. Don't suffer in silence. Give others the grace of being in the mud with you. Be patient with yourself. Forgive yourself. And remember that you've come back from every bad day. Some books. Attached, Wired for Love. It didn't start with you. The body keeps the score. She comes first. Story 7. Try and pull myself out of the funk. Lots of self-hatred and debauchery with drinking, drugs, and sex. Sometimes I lose my job too. Usually I lose my job. I have a very hard time with loss due to traumas in my past. Serious abandonment issues, so when I'm abandoned, I barely survive. Story 8. When my relationship came to an end last year, I spent a lot of time with friends and started devoting more time to my hobbies, which I had somewhat neglected to spend more time with my girlfriend. I also started focusing more on work, not calling out as much to keep busy with work as another distraction, even asking to take on a few more responsibilities to help keep my self-esteem high. Story 9. It sounds rough, but be strong. Focus on improving yourself and keep yourself out there and available. Don't stay in your house and sulk. Go to the gym, spend time with your friends, say yes when people invite you to do things, and don't dwell on her. The next girl will come around when you least expect it, so make sure you're ready and present. Story 10. Try to figure out what you really enjoy doing and find happiness in being alone. Hang out with friends, talk to those friends about it, and stay active. I've been there before and I feel you. I was absolutely depressed, borderline suicidal. Didn't see a therapist, but focused on finding something that would make me happy consistently. I came out happier and more stable on the other side than I had ever been. No drugs, minimal drinking, focus on yourself. It really worked, but it took a couple of months. Story 11. Cry a lot. Seriously, don't shy away from the pain. You're going to have a lot of emotions to deal with, and you might as well get it over with instead of dragging it around with you. Then commit to being a better person. My wife is super grateful for my ex breaking my heart because she and I both know it was the kick in the pants to become the man I am today. As other people say, stay busy, stay reflective, exercise, develop new hobbies, find a physical activity that makes you happy, and use that to channel the emotions you have a hard time articulating or letting out. Story 12. The best thing I did was throw everything of hers or what she bought me away the next day. I took that day off work fully. I work 2 jobs, so I took the day off from both and took an hour. I cried like a baby, then I wiped my tears, grabbed a Walmart bag I had lying around, and put everything she had given me. Gifts, pottery we had made together, cards, love letters, everything. I got in my car, drove 3 towns over, and found a random gas station. I got my gas and a Diet Coke from inside, then I threw the bag in the trash and left. Why a random gas station? Because I didn't want to have remorse. I didn't want to be like, oh no, I want it back. Sorry, bud, it's too late. It's in a random trash can at a random gas station. You aren't getting it back. The next thing I did was delete all photos of her from my phone. Every single one. Then, I went back to work the following day and got on with my life. Now, it still hurts 8 months later, and it's gonna hurt for a long time to come. But one day I'll have love again, and it'll be glorious. But for now it's time for healing. Story 13. Broke up with her 18 days ago, on October 31st, cried on that day, talked to close friends about it, listened to music and accepted it. Also, it can teach you about what you really want and do not want in a relationship. Definitely, do not rush into a new one, and be more vigilant of red flags. Story 14. Got really depressed. Watched a lot of pornography. Realized I was way better than that. Started hitting the gym hard. Got back to reading my Bible. Realized the divorce might be a good thing, even though I don't believe in divorce. And I'm happier than I've been the whole course of my marriage. Story 15. Look for a hobby or passion. Not only will it keep your mind off your ex, but a lot of cool things can unexpectedly come out of that, like new friendships. Story 16. Meetup.com. I go hiking with groups to take my mind off the breakup. And like Fight Club, I never talk about the breakup with anyone but my closest friends. Story 17. Keep busy, lift weights, hang out with friends, eat good food, play video games, be happy during the day, and then when you are in bed at night trying to fall asleep and you are alone with your thoughts, realize that you are depressed and have a very long road ahead of you. Story 18. Historically, I drank a lot, but I understand now how it makes things worse. Now, I reach out to my emotional support system and do lots of fun things with my friends that I wanted to do but didn't do as often because my partner didn't enjoy them. I indulge in a lot of media escapism until I'm ready to handle things more directly. Recently, I got back into video games and horror movies she never wanted to watch. It's important to build new memories without the ex so that I rediscover I am a fully adequate and functioning person on my own. Story 19. So since I've just gone through 1-2 months back, and am still going through it. It depends on who broke up with whom. It's hard for both parties. But when she broke up with me, she moved on faster due to the relief of breaking up while I'm down and out for months. However, when it ends, you want to text and call. Don't do that. It's hard and you sit around a lot, but don't contact them. Fight with yourself to just go out, go to the gym, go to therapy, etc. The first rule of thumb is to just block them on all social media, which helps with the loss stage. You also block them via WhatsApp and phone. It depends if you have kids. But if no kids, block and move on. The second stage is to keep as busy as possible. A man can take longer to get over someone, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying join a gym. Just go out with friends constantly and, over time, you will start to feel better. It's time you need, in my opinion. Third, if you need a therapist, then go for one. The reason we broke up was because I wasn't meeting her needs, but I had trauma going on due to my dad dying and my best friends who committed suicide. She decided to leave me and it hurt. I blocked her and am currently trying to get therapy for trauma. I've cried myself to sleep at night, many nights. But you battle on. Story 20. She just broke off 5 years like it was nothing, no talks or warning signs, just over. Writing feelings down and surrounding myself with friends has really helped. Good luck. Story 21. Get depressed, briefly stalk her. Fortunately didn't do anything illegal, just pathetic and creepy. Start drinking at work, hook up with a woman from work, get a confidence boost, get motivated, work on myself, prioritize finances, buy a house, start a business. Then 1.5 years after the breakup married the woman I'm still happily with 12 years later. I don't necessarily recommend that rebound timeline, but it worked out for me. Story 22. I found that it was one of the hardest emotional events I ever went through that made me into the best version of myself relationship-wise. Now married and about to have my first child with my soulmate, that breakup propelled me to be the person I needed to be in order to find this situation. It also showed me very clearly that love sometimes will not hold a relationship up. If you love your partner and they take it for granted, run is my advice, even though I didn't when I should have. I went from a relationship where it was so one-sided to a relationship where it's truly even. No better feeling in the world than finding out that this is what good looks like and that yes, you deserve better and will find it. Story 23. Currently going through a breakup and am taking the advice to journal. I hope that helps. I've been very lonely. Started dating this girl shortly after I moved to a new area, so all my friends are really her friends. Now I have no one to even hang out with. Story 24. Step 1. Numb the pain. This step is about doing anything to distract yourself after the initial shock wears off. Do something to numb the pain, for example, drink a lot of alcohol, smoke marijuana, or smoke cigarettes. Hang out with friends, anything to get your mind off of it. You usually need some sort of downer to help fall asleep and stay asleep. Step 2. Let out anger. When you move past the initial shock, you start to feel a lot of anger, so you need to find some outlet to let it out. This usually ends up being hitting the gym really hard or doing something really intense. Step 3. Self-improvement. After a while of letting out the anger, you start to look back and focus more on improving yourself. At this point, you start shaving again. Try to pick yourself back up, schedule an actual workout plan at the gym, not just going hard, but actually trying to improve, maybe read some books, whatever to improve yourself. Step 4. Put yourself back out there. After a while of improving yourself and starting to get over the grief stages, you're feeling better about yourself. Reevaluate your previous relationships and see if you want to put yourself back out there again. Story 25. Men are at greater risk of suicide than at any other time after a relationship or their family ends. To an extreme extent, this is the most common cause of male suicide, about 4 times higher than even war trauma. That's the worst case, though. It largely seems to do with being blindsided or surprised by the end or the often nightmarish results of family court. Otherwise, the range runs from relief, shrugging, complaining to friends, or getting blackout drunk and sloppy. I think most men largely get over it and move on relatively quickly, though depending on how the relationship went, they may have new perspectives on relationships. Men tend to learn from their mistakes and often carry that knowledge with them. Not everyone, but I would wager most. I think of it as a difference between how the genders are raised or enculturated. I do not believe most men think relationships will make them happy. I base this on humor. There are jokes more than 100 years old about the old ball and chain, take my wife, please, and innumerable punchlines that make coupling a marriage something of a sacrifice you do for family. Humor regarding women tends to be a few hundred years of them being able to change their minds. The most common reason listed for women ending relationships, and women end the vast majority of relationships, even with other women, is along the lines of "it didn't make me happy enough," "as happy as I thought I should be," or "I wasn't happy anymore." While men do not anticipate being happy in relationships, when relationships end for men, it is less about happiness and far more about failure. Men feel responsible for keeping their relationships and families together. It's our purpose. It's our job. I think it is deeply ingrained in our psyche. So when relationships fail, men tend to want to know why. What did I do? What did I not do? What happened? How did I fail? Most who are most unhappy are probably that way because they do not get a satisfactory answer. If they get any answer at all, it's probably emotional and along the lines of "you didn't make me happy enough, comfort me enough, secure enough," or whatever, which tends not to compute in the male brain, which does not think that way. And if they think to ask, "Did you tell me?" the response is often, "You should have known." I think the most unhappy men are the ones who think they did everything right, what they were taught they were supposed to do in life, and they still failed. Some men can deal with that, and some can't and take the worst way out. But I think many men fall through radical holes after such an experience where they think the social contracts in society have failed them. I think that's also one of the reasons radicalism is on the rise, but that's another thing entirely. Simply, I think most men learn from the experience and get over it and others don't, and things can go bad for them.